what's going on, everybody? I'm here to do a movie review for the movie Halloween. When I first learned that they were making another Halloween movie, I was like everybody else. I was like, oh, here we go again. Another Halloween film in the plethora of Halloween films that we have gotten over the years since 1978. Now here's another one. And I said, I need to know the plot to this one, because when I found out that they put Jamie Lee Curtis into the film, I'm like, I could have sworn she died or got killed in Halloween Resurrection back in 2002. You know, the one with Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks. But then once I got the synopsis of it, I was like, oh, now I see what they're doing. So before I go into what the movie is about, let me just give you like a little breakdown just in case some people are confused. So a lot of people were still confused. So this Halloween is a direct sequel to the very first Halloween film that came out in 1978, which was approximately 40 years ago. And basically what they're doing is they're basically suspending reality. So basically what happened in every other Halloween film that came out after the first one never happened. So there wasn't no Halloween 2, 4, 5, H2O, Resurrection, and any other Halloween that happened before or in between and after that. It's just this one. Also in this movie, or with this particular version of the film, the Laurie Strode character played by Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers are not related. They are not siblings at all, not brother and sister or whatever. They're like, they basically played it up as them being complete strangers. Like, you know how it was in the first one. They didn't do the whole sibling plot until the second Halloween film, because John Carpenter, that's how he had wanted the film originally. But you know, if y'all didn't know, the original Halloween film was a low budget film. They didn't expect the movie to be as big as it turned out to be and then turn into this multi-million-dollar franchise years later. He only wanted to do that one and pretty much have that be it, but then they kept it going because the studios wanted more. They was throwing more money and everything like that. So that's basically like a little pre-synopsis. So if you go into seeing this movie, don't expect it to seem like like I could have sworn she died, or what happened to the brother sister angle. I just gave it to you. That's basically it. And him having all these super I guess you could say natural, like, you know, abilities and everything like that, they don't really play that up that, you know, pretty much that much in the film. I mean, it was one part of the film where I think that they kind of dwelled on just a tiny bit, but not that, you know, not that heavily. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, basically the synopsis of the movie is it's 40, like I said, it's 40 years later. We discussed that in the pre-synopsis of my review. It's 40 years later. They're back in Haddonfield, Illinois. Michael Myers is locked up in this insane asylum, this mental institution for the crimes he committed back in 1978 from the original film. You have these journalists, they want to come and they want to pretty much do a project about him, like study him and everything like that. They have him locked up. One thing leads to another. He's supposed to be transported to another facility. Y'all gotta forgive me as I'm sweating a little bit. It's kind of warm in here, but I didn't want to turn the car on because the air will probably make a lot of noise. But anyway, he's supposed to be transported to another facility. Something happens, accident. Then you pretty much guess what happens after that. He escapes, and now they got to track him down. Jamie Lee Curtis is back as Laurie Strode, the character that she made famous back in the late 70s, and she pretty much lives a secluded life. She has a daughter and a granddaughter. They live in another part of they still live in Haddonfield, but in another part of the, that's more like the suburbs. But like I said, Laurie, she lives like in a more secluded area. I mean, it's so secluded, it's in the middle of nowhere. She has no trespassing signs and everything. She literally has her house locked down like Fort Knox. I'm talking about she has guns hidden away. She has a hideaway in her basement that goes beneath the kitchen. She has these big ass floodlights. I mean, it's like living in a damn on a military base and then some. But she's doing that because she says she's been preparing for all these years. People think she's crazy because she's always preparing, and she's pretty much become like a pariah. People know about her and, you know, she was the sole survivor and everything like that. But she just has this strong inkling of a feeling that Michael is going to come back, and when he does, she's definitely going to get her what she considers to be her revenge, because not only did he try to kill her, but he did kill her friends. So she naturally wants to get back at him. And, you know, that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie. Now, I'm going to get into the parts that I like. What I did really love about this movie, especially with me being a fan of the Halloween franchise and the Michael Myers character is how many little, I guess you can say, subliminals that they threw at you from the previous movies. Like, it was certain parts in this movie that I was like, that looked like that happened in the original one. Oh, that one looks like it happened in the first one. They even took, I think, little bits and pieces from maybe the second one a little bit, but more so from the first one. Like, they pulled some things from the film, from the first film, and threw them in here. Now, if you didn't watch the original film, you wouldn't catch it. But if you go back and watch the original one and you look at this one, you can say, oh, I see what they did there. And it's like, I don't want to do like any spoilers for the movie, because just in case people want to go and watch it, because this thing could turn into a whole spoiler review just on that topic alone of things that they referenced from the first one as far as inspiration for this one. Another thing I like, the boy. If y'all saw the preview for the movie and it was a little black boy in the bed and he says, can you close the closet door? He was one of the funniest parts of the movie. I didn't know that his part was going to be that long outside of, him saying that line. But his part in the film was so funny. Almost every word or everything that he did in that little scene that he was in had everybody in the theater cracking up. I think he got the loudest or the most laughs out of everybody in the entire film. That boy is going places. Like, I really enjoyed his character. And okay, here's a little minor spoiler. So it was a part in the film where Michael is hiding in the closet. Y'all already saw that in the preview. And he comes out, he like goes after the babysitter, the nanny that is watching him. He looks at that. He hops out of the bed so fast and says, oh shit, and runs right down the stairs. I said, that is a typical thing a black person would do. We are not going to stick around and try to investigate a damn thing. If we see a madman with a white mask on and a knife in his hand and he looks like tall and everything like that, we ain't going to try to reason with him and shit like that and try to figure out why is he in the closet and everything. Nah, we getting the fuck up out of there. And that's exactly what he did. And after his little scene, you didn't really see him anymore. I wish we kind of did see him again, but he pretty much served his purpose in the film, and they probably said we didn't need to see him anymore after that. But those were the two things that I did like about the movie. Now I'm trying to sit here and ponder what were some of the things that I didn't like. Of course, some of the cliche things that some of the characters do and whatnot that, make you seem like, oh, why did you do this and why did you do that? But you know what? Unless you are in a position where someone is actually coming after you like that, you would never know what to do. Except if, of course, if you're that little boy. He knew exactly what to do. He was like, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Because there was one part in this movie, and I could not believe they actually did this, where I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say one of the kills was so unexpected. And it happened, like, I'll tell you when it happened. It happened after the bus crashed. That's all I'm going to say. That was one of the most unexpected kills that had everybody jaw dropped to the floor, including mine. I'm like, wow, I can't believe they actually showed that they actually did that. But you know what? All in all, the movie was good. The scare factor, it had some jumps in there. But you know what? I'm so used to this franchise right now that it's only so much that they can do to scare me. I mean, unless they come up with new ways. But I did like the fighting aspect, having Jamie Lee Curtis, go up against Michael Myers and everything. Like, I like the fact that they had him fighting and, not so much fist-to-fist combat, but had him be a little bit more combative instead of be so robotic like he's always been known to be. Like, he is almost like it added more realism to him, and I think that's what the angle they were going for, is making him more realistic instead of having him be so, like I said, I'm starting to sweat. Instead of having him be so robotic like they've always had him be in the previous films leading up to now. But all in all, I really enjoyed the film. One thing I did love too, I forgot to mention this, was how the movie opened. When I tell you that when they pulled directly from the first film, they did, even all the way down to how the movie opened. If you look at the first film and look at this new one, it looks almost exactly identical. With some things in it's a little different, but that theme song, that iconic theme song, one of the major reasons to go watch this movie is for that theme song. That theme song, that is one of the most iconic, recognizable theme songs ever made. I wonder why no hip-hop artist has ever sampled it. Unless they have, and I never caught it. But anyway, all in all, it was a good film. If I had to rate it, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely worth the watch. I can tell a lot of people, if they don't see it this weekend, they're probably going to do the cliche thing and go and see it on Halloween Day, which is in about 2 weeks, I think, because it's on a Wednesday. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.